Hello, good day. How are you today? You're good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That is good. Today in basic science, we are going to be learning about reproduction. Okay? Our topic for today in basic science it's on reproduction. Are you ready for the lesson? Okay. First, we're going to be looking at the meaning of reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process by which new individuals of the same species are produced. It ensures the continuation of life on Earth and can occur through sexual or asexual means. Okay? Do we understand? Reproduction is how living things make more of themselves. And there are two ways: sexual and asexual. Okay? Do we understand that? So reproduction is the process by which living things produce new individuals of the same kind. Okay? So we're going to be looking at the types of reproduction. There are two main types of reproduction. Okay? Asexual reproduction. This involves the production of offspring without the involvement of gametes. It often results in genetically identical offspring. Okay? Asexual reproduction is like a solo act. One parent creates offspring without the need of eggs or sperm. Okay? So asexual reproduction is like making a copy of yourself without eggs or sperm. The new one is exactly like the parent. Do we understand that? Asexual reproduction is when a single parent produces offspring that are genetically identical to the parent. Okay? So the key thing is that the new individuals are clones of the parents. They have the same genes, okay? Then, sexual reproduction. This involves the fusion of male and female gametes to create genetically diverse offspring. Okay? This involves the joining of male and female cells to create offspring. The new individual inherits a combination of the traits of both parents. Do you understand that? Sexual reproduction is like a teamwork. It involves two parents, a male and a female. Each contributes their special cells, called the sperm and egg. Okay? The male produces tiny cells called the sperm, and the female produces eggs. When a sperm meets an egg, this meeting is called fertilization, and it creates a new cell. Do you understand? And this new cell is called zygote. The zygote has a mix of genes from both the male and the female, creating a new individual with the combination of traits. Okay? The zygote starts dividing and growing into a new living thing, like a plant or an animal. So sexual reproduction adds variety to the population because each offspring is a bit different from its parent. It's like a genetic mixtape. You know, asexual production is the same with the parent, but sexual reproduction has a mix of the male and the female. Okay? Do you understand that? Good. We now know the meaning of reproduction, types of reproduction. So next we're going to be taking a closer look on how plants, like flowers, go about this process, okay? Just like animals have their ways, plants have a unique system involving specific parts and the functions in the flower. So we're going to be looking at parts of a flower and their functions. Parts of a flower and their functions. 1. Petal, often colorful and attracts pollinators. So the petal attracts pollinators like bees and butterflies with its bright, colorful, and sweet scent. Okay? Another part of a flower is the sepal. Protects the developing flower. The function of the sepal is to protect the flower bud before it blooms. Okay? Stamen, the male reproductive part consisting of the anther and the filament. The anther produces pollen, which contains the male reproductive cell, while the filament supports the anther. Okay? Pistil, the female reproductive part, including the stigma, style, and ovary. The stigma catches pollen where the male reproductive cells can stick. Then the style connects the stigma to the ovary. The ovary contains ovules and after fertilization develops into a fruit. Okay? Do we understand? So we've looked at the different parts of a flower and their functions. So next we're going to be looking at how these parts work together, okay? Which is called the pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen from the male part to the female part of a flower, either by wind, water, or pollinators like bees and butterflies. It is essential for plant reproduction. Okay, do you understand? Pollination is the transfer of pollen, and pollen is moved from the male parts to the female parts, often with the help of pollinators or wind. The pollen travels down the style to the ovary, where fertilization occurs, okay? Uniting a sperm with an egg. The fertilized eggs become seeds inside the ovary, and the ovary transforms into a fruit. So these fruits help spread seeds to new places, ensuring the growth of new plants. Do you understand that? Pollination is like flower matchmaking. Pollen from the anther needs to reach the stigma, and this can happen through wind, insects, birds, or other animals, pollinators, okay? Once the pollen reaches the stigma, a tube grows down the style to the ovary, where fertilization takes place, okay? A sperm from the pollen joins with an egg in the ovules. Do you understand? The fertilized egg becomes a seed, and then the ovary develops into a fruit. The seed contains a mix of genetic information from both the flower's male and female parts. So the fruits need to spread the seeds. Then they can be carried by wind, animals, or even water, finding a new place to grow into a new plant. So this is how flowers reproduce and create a new plant. Okay? Do we understand that? Okay. Next, we're going to be looking at sexual reproduction in humans. Just like plants have their own reproduction system, humans also have their own reproduction system. Okay? In humans, sexual reproduction involves the union of a sperm cell from a male and an egg cell from a female. This union occurs during fertilization, leading to the formation of a zygote, which develops into an embryo. Okay? During intercourse, when the sperm cell from the male meets with the egg from the female, it creates a fertilized egg called the zygote. Okay? The zygote grows into a baby inside the woman's uterus. Then, after about 9 months, the baby is born through the vagina. Okay? Do we understand? So, today's lesson on reproduction, we looked at the meaning of reproduction, the types of reproduction we mentioned, sexual and asexual, right? Then we looked at parts of a flower and their functions. Did we? We also looked at pollination, right? And we have also looked at sexual reproduction in humans. So we understood today's lesson on reproduction. Okay, so next we're going to be looking at our assignment. I'm sure you're going to be able to do your assignment, right? Okay, good.